Right now, Senator Tammy Baldwin campaigning in Sun Prairie after missing President Biden's visit to the area on Friday. We ask her why. Also, a group of veterans rallying in Wisconsin showing how they feel about the President Biden. And in Middleton, the EAA and Maury Airplane Company serve future pilots breakfast at their annual pancake breakfast event. That's all coming up at 5:30. Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jalen Banks. Senator Tammy Baldwin in Sun Prairie Sunday for the last stop of her Fired Up for Tammy campaign tour. That tour is why she says she couldn't make it to Madison for President Biden's visit on Friday. Our Brandon Ross asked her about that decision again, and here's what she said.
When President Joe Biden touched down in Madison this week, a lineup of Wisconsin Democratic leaders were waiting on the tarmac to greet him. But there was one notable absence.
Look, I'm focused on my own campaign right now.
That's the answer Senator Tammy Baldwin has given multiple times when asked why she wasn't there. Instead of greeting the president in Madison, Baldwin spent her Friday making several stops on her Fired Up for Tammy tour across the state.
People have been planning the meet and greets and rallies that we've been having for weeks. And I was going to show up. I wasn't going to be a no-show for those important events.
On Sunday, she made the last of those stops in Dane County, talking with supporters and energizing her Democratic base.
We are the battleground state.
Her campaign says her absence from Biden's visit shouldn't be taken as an absence of support for the president. But on a press call on Friday, her opponent, Eric Hovde, questioned that answer.
I think it's important for all you who's on this call to ask Senator Baldwin directly, do you support Joe Biden continuing on as the candidate?
So we did ask her that question.
Bottom line is it's his decision. And I'm going to be fighting for the entire Democratic ticket.
I also asked her if she's heard concerns about Biden's campaign and her conversations with voters.
Yeah, I have heard a lot of input from voters, a lot of things that they've been expressing, and I've passed those on to the White House. We don't know what the future holds, but I am definitely focused on, first of all, winning my own re-election because I want somebody who's fighting on behalf of the people of Wisconsin.
And as for November,
I'll be supporting the entire Democratic ticket.
Reporting in Sun Prairie, Braden Ross, News 3 Now.
Braden, thank you. According to the most recent Marquette Law School poll, Baldwin leads Hovde with the support of 52% of registered voters. Meanwhile, in La Crosse Saturday, a group of veterans rallied to show their support for President Biden. The show of support comes even after President Biden's scrutinized performance at the presidential debate with former President Donald Trump. An organizing leader says yesterday's event is a reminder to veterans that their voices matter in this election.
We're a group of people within the party that are advancing causes for veterans and reaching out to others all across the states, across the aisle, Republicans, Independents, and Democrats, everybody who's served, to encourage them to vote, encourage them to look at the real issues at hand.
She adds that during this election, she is paying extra attention to the candidates' views on abortion and women's reproductive freedoms. Switching gears now, let's get a look at your certified most accurate forecast. Meteorologist Blaze Keller's out on the weather patio. Blaze, another cool and calm day. How does it feel out there?
You know, it's kind of humid outside. We got that cloud cover. We've got a little bit of rain popping up across the southeast, so we're going to continue to keep that chance for maybe some scattered showers to isolated showers and thunderstorms as we head throughout the rest of your Sunday evening, overnight, and throughout your Monday as well. Let's take a look at those graphics. You know, despite the fact that we got cloud cover, folks are still out on the water. It's 82 degrees in Madison. A southwesterly wind at about 7 miles per hour has maybe bumped up our temperatures a little bit, but we're going to be watching that shower and thunderstorm activity throughout the rest of this evening. We have a little bit of outflow, so cold air rushing out ahead of a storm, moving through parts of Rock County, Dodge County, Jefferson County, so that could fire up some storms as we go over the next hour or so. We'll, of course, keep you guys updated, but there's not a lot working for these storms. There's not a lot of upper-level support, despite a lot of energy at the surface, as temperatures remain in the 70s and 80s, and our dew points are into the 60s, if not approaching the low 70s along the lake shore there, along Lake Michigan. So there's a lot for these showers and thunderstorms to potentially use, but there's just not a lot above the surface. So Jalen and folks at home, we're going to track out the thunderstorm activity through this evening and overnight, but we're also going to touch on where the remnants of Beryl could head, and if that brings us any heavy rains in the full forecast coming up later on in this half hour.
All right, sounds good, Blaze. Thank you. This morning, the EAA and Maury Airplane Company was jam-packed as they held their annual pancake breakfast. At the Maury Airport in Middleton, future and current pilots, aviation enthusiasts, and aircraft builders got the chance to break some bread with like-minded people, or maybe just hang out and have breakfast with their family. There were all-you-can-eat pancakes as well as other great breakfast items being served amongst the aircraft theme.
Bringing families out, especially the young children, exposes them to aviation where they may not have a chance to in the past. And it's key for this airport and aviation industry because that's our future pilots. So we encourage these kids to explore airplanes, and we offer scholarships for those that want to.
The Maury Airplane Company also offers flight instruction and aircraft rentals and have been around for over 90 years. If you're interested in learning more, you can check out their website at www.mauryairport.com. And in Madison, police have found a 75-year-old man who went missing from their assisted living facility Saturday. Police say Timothy James McIntyre left his then facility on Belmont Road, leaving on foot before getting into his car. Again, he's now been located, and the Wisconsin DOJ previously issued a silver alert for McIntyre Saturday afternoon. Staying local, some recognition for the Madison Metropolitan School District. It was announced on Friday the district won multiple awards from the National School Public Relations Association, highlighting its stellar work this past year. The district says its staff earned a Golden Achievement Award and 8 Publication and Digital Media Excellence Awards. The awards recognize exceptional strategic work in all aspects of school public relations, communication, marketing, and engagement. Still to come on News 3 Now at 5:30, Hurricane Beryl setting its sights on the U.S., how many are preparing for landfall of the deadly storm. And coming up later tonight, while we relish these warm days, our kids' hair often pay the price for our sun-soaked activities. Consumer Reports has some tips for keeping all types of hair happy in the sun.
Fight like hell, and if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
It should have been stopped. That's neglect of duty. As a sheriff, it's awful to watch police officers getting attacked. That's not supporting this badge and this uniform. I have no desire to work with somebody who divides. That's not what America is, but I work with anybody who unites. That's why I'm with President Joe Biden.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Here's to sweet summer days together in Wisconsin. To discovering magic in every moment. Here's to supper club celebrations. And to a lifetime of memories. Here's to reconnecting through a world filled with wonder. And dancing until the sun goes down. Here's to those who Wisconsin.
Dad, are you certain this is gonna work?
Nothing to it.
Are you for imprint certain?
Certainty matters, like the certainty of 4imprint, your home for high-quality promotional gear, including exclusive items and brands they love. Printed perfectly and guaranteed to arrive on time. To wow your clients, nail your next event, or inspire your team, check out 4imprint.com.
4imprint, for certain.
I'm Eric Hovde. I approve this message. Our Constitution has given us more rights, freedoms, and prosperity than any country in history. Every 4th of July, we come together to celebrate those freedoms. But right now, we're a divided nation. We have to stop putting on the blue jersey or red jersey. Instead, put on the red, white, and blue jersey. Come together and get things done.
I'm proud to be an American.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5:30, moving forward.
It's now been 9 days since President Joe Biden's highly publicized debate performance, and the calls for him to drop out of the race continue. Christian Benavides reports Biden remains defiant as he campaigns in Pennsylvania today.
Out on the trail in the critical swing state of Pennsylvania, President Joe Biden sought to reassure Democratic voters about his ability to beat former President Donald Trump.
You know, I've been doing this a long time. And I, honest to God, have never been more optimistic about America's future if we stick together.
Yet the party remains divided as a growing number of House Democrats are calling for Biden to step aside. Congresswoman Angie Craig, who represents a swing district in Minnesota, saying she doesn't believe the president can effectively campaign and win against Donald Trump.
President Biden can clearly defeat Donald Trump, the most dangerous president in the history of this country.
Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders on Face the Nation came to Biden's defense, but called for the Biden campaign to more aggressively focus on policy.
Biden is old. He's not as articulate as he once was. I wish he could jump up the steps on Air Force One. He can't. What we have got to focus on is policy. Whose policies have and will benefit the vast majority of the people in this country.
Connecticut Democratic Senator Chris Murphy says Biden needs to address voters' concerns.
And so I think this week is going to be absolutely critical. I think the president needs to do more.
For his part, former President Donald Trump has stayed off the trail this weekend with a planned rally in Florida on Tuesday. Cristian Benavides, CBS News.
CBS News has learned several top House Democrats privately called for Biden to step aside from the nomination during a virtual meeting between top committee members and leadership today. And campaigns have come to a conclusion in France with their legislative elections. Crowds celebrated and chanted today as the French far right are projected to fall short. Polls have closed in France, and polling projections say a coalition on the left that came together unexpectedly has won most of the parliamentary seats in the pivotal runoff elections after high turnout among voters. And after the storm moved through the Caribbean, the Texas coast is bracing for Hurricane Beryl. The powerful storm is expected to strengthen with the warm water of the Gulf of Mexico before making landfall overnight, packing high winds, heavy rain, severe flooding, and possible tornadoes.
If we have really high tides and big surf, we can start getting, a lot of rip currents in areas where there's not structures. But now we're having a major storm in, late June, July, like that kind of thing. And so I think we want to remember to be extra cautious and stay extra tuned in.
There are both mandatory and voluntary evacuation orders up and down the coast. People are boarding up, and there's a run on gas and water and other supplies in anticipation of what the storm could bring. There are hurricane warnings, storm surge warnings, and people have been asked to make their preparations early and get out of the storm's way now. While America's Gulf Coast is bracing for the hurricane hit, storm-ravaged Jamaica is starting to receive aid shipments from the U.S. In South Florida, three-time Grammy Award winner Cedella Marley, daughter of legendary Jamaican reggae musician Bob Marley, is helping lead relief efforts. Working with the Food for the Poor nonprofit agency, Marley and hundreds of volunteers are packing bags and boxes with supplies. This includes personal hygiene items and clothing. The agency is also shipping tons of food and tens of thousands of gallons of water, now headed to the Caribbean.
I have many family members and friends in Jamaica, and I've been in constant contact with them. And they tell me there's a great concern for those left homeless and hungry. Help is needed, and we're answering the call, but your donations are needed.
As a signal of the need for donations and solidarity with Jamaica, South Florida's Paramount Miami World Center skyscraper is lit up with a montage of international flags. The building also glows with the title of Marley's global anthem of unity, One World, One Prayer, and a digital memorial candle honoring the storm's victims. TSA says it's expecting the busiest air travel day ever at the nation's airports. More than 3 million people are expected to be screened at airports across the country today. Just at LAX, TSA is expected to screen about 241,000 people. One family traveling today has some travel tips for those flying on busy days.
Definitely come early. Don't try to cut it an hour before your flight. Come like 2 hours before your flight. Check in right at that limit. Make sure your bag is underweight. You're not trying to undo your bag, switch the bags. You're not trying to do all that. So make sure it's underweight.
AAA says around 60 million people will travel by car this weekend. They say the worst times to travel according to AAA, and if you're trying to avoid traffic, now until 8 o'clock. Monday between 1 and 5 p.m. is also one of the worst times to hit the road. And coming up next on News 3 Now at 5:30, another check of your first warn forecast is coming up with meteorologist Blaze Keller.
There's a lot to love about life in the 608. Fundraisers,
farmers markets, family events.
Tell Josh what inspires you, and it might be featured on News 3 Now this morning in the 608. Weekdays only on News 3 Now this morning.
Hanson's knows that your home is a place of comfort and protection. That's why our durable, energy-efficient, and weather-resistant windows, roofing, siding, and gutters, as well as our bathtubs and showers, are guaranteed. With over 30 years experience and thousands of 5-star reviews, we're your trusted home improvement expert. Get 60% off installation or enjoy no interest and no payments for 1 year.
Call 1-800-HANSONS. Get it done.
They are some of the hottest videos on social media. Those videos claiming to instantly get rid of bags under your eyes. Annette Figueroa is here to tell us why she says this one is for real.
This one is for real, and what it does is it tightens and lifts the appearance of bags underneath your eyes. And not only does it work on the bags, it works on the appearance of crow's feet, fine lines, and wrinkles.
Try it this July 4th for only $14.95 plus free shipping. Visit plexidermtrial.com or call the number on your screen.
Did you see Trump last night? I mean it sincerely. Most lies told in a single debate. He lied about the great economy he created. He lied about the pandemic he botched. And then, his biggest lie, he lied about how he had nothing to do with the insurrection of January 6th. We all saw with our own eyes.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you.
We saw police being attacked, the Capitol being ransacked. He did not a single thing to stop it, nothing. Folks, I know I'm not a young man, but I know how to do this job. I know right from wrong. I know how to tell the truth. And I know, like millions of Americans know, when you get knocked down, you get back up. I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Now let's get a look at your first warn forecast with meteorologist Blaze Keller. Blaze, what should we expect?
Well, we're going to continue to track the chance for scattered showers and thunderstorms through the rest of your Sunday evening, overnight, and throughout your Monday as well. Right now, though, the only activity really seems to be moving into Milwaukee. So let's take it in closer because right here, kind of stretching from Watertown south to just north of Delvin, this is what we call an outflow boundary. And that may be just enough little bit of energy to kick up some showers and thunderstorms as it races its way back west. An outflow is just essentially the gust that you feel ahead of a storm because of that rain-cooled air hitting the ground and then spreading out. We typically see it with some of those stronger storms. While not severe, it is packing a little bit of some heavy rain, to say the least. We're a little bit too warm for hail, but we're going to continue to watch that outflow boundary. But back at home in Dane County, we're looking at quiet conditions. It's 82 degrees. Despite being somewhat mostly cloudy, plenty of people out on the water, probably escaping some of these humid conditions as temperatures are in the 70s and 80s, and then our dew points are into the 60s, if not the low 70s in some spots. So pretty consistent temperatures across southern Wisconsin, despite the fact that we got some cloud cover. It's 79 in Perry and Verona, 82 in McFarland, as well as in Madison. As I mentioned, those dew points are high. We've been saturating the atmosphere, kind of seeing the return of that humidity as winds have been out of the south-southwest throughout the day today. So that's going to bring back north that moisture that's going to maybe fuel some of these isolated to scattered showers and thunderstorms, not only through the rest of this evening, but into your Monday as well. So maybe here as we go around the midnight hour through the early morning hours on your Monday that we do see that best chance for some scattered showers and thunderstorms. We'll linger in the upper 60s to low 70s, maybe some breaks in the cloud cover as well as the rain chances overnight too. We'll see that here in Future Track. Much like what we saw today is not that consistent rain, but just kind of hit or miss shower and thunderstorm activity as we go overnight into the morning hours on your Monday. When you're returning to work tomorrow, could be a wet commute for some of us as Future Track is painting some lingering showers and thunderstorms, but winds remain out of the southwest. We're going to be watching, though, where a cold front potentially moves through the area because wherever that really lines up is where Beryl and the remnants of Beryl are going to travel along. Think of cold fronts and even warm fronts actually as kind of guiding hands, pulling that next system along. And a hurricane is a very large, very organized low pressure system. So if that cold front is to our south and east, like the latest tracking has it, Beryl's going to follow that, and it's going to take with it all of that moisture from the Gulf of Mexico. You can see off into the Chicagoland area, into northwestern Indiana, those reds indicating upwards of 3 inches of rain falling as the remnants of Beryl move through the Midwest Tuesday night into Wednesday. So we need that cold front to stay off to our south and east. And right now it looks to be that way, which would be some good news. However, if that changes, we're going to issue an alert day because as we've been talking about and as we've seen, flooding would be a continued concern here across southern Wisconsin. So right now, no alert days on the 7 and 10-day forecast. I would say the best day that we could see it will be Tuesday into Wednesday if Beryl does continue to trend maybe back north and westward. But for now, the remnants remain to our south and east. And then after that, we warm up back into those upper 80s to low 90s starting Saturday of next week through that Monday the following week.
Starting to look a little bit more summer-like.
Feeling like
next
it too.
weekend, but Beryl, what kind of name is that? I feel like that's the first time I've ever heard this one.
I don't know. I have never heard Beryl either, but if you name Beryl, good for you.
All right, well, sounds good. Thank you, Blaze. And still to come in sports, Giannis and Team Greece is 1 win away from securing their Olympic bid. Andrew has those highlights coming up next on News 3 Now.
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
How much I weigh is nobody's business.
But Eric Hovde wants to make it his.
Eric Hovde thinks that if you're overweight, insurance companies should charge you more.
There should be consequences to those personal choices. Fine, you want to do that? Your health care is going to cost more.
How insulting is that?
Hovde would increase health care costs for 1 out of every 3 people in Wisconsin.
Eric Hovde, what the hell is wrong with this guy?
Brothers Maine enjoys 4th of July festivities with family, friends, and fabulous kitchen and laundry deals. Our fireworks of savings on GE appliances and free delivery will make you ooh and ah. Feel like family at Brothers Maine.
I'm coming to you live from Wisconsin, where the Wisconsin Lottery's newest scratch game is taking over. Let me tell you, this is big. Are you getting this? It's Winning Streak, a brand new $10 scratch game. Match any of your numbers to winning numbers or reveal 3 identical numbers in a row. You could win up to $100,000. So cool. Now available at Wisconsin Lottery retailers.
Solid core composite frame, triple pane windows.
Solid core composite frame, triple pane windows.
Solid core composite frame, triple pane windows. From Scott the Window Guy at AHT Wisconsin Window.
I'm Scott the Window Guy from AHT Wisconsin Windows. Our solid core composite frame triple pane window is the most energy efficient window made for Wisconsin, no matter what the season.
Get free installation on any door or window purchase at scottthewindowguy.com.
People are dabbling.
I dabble in kung fu.
So go ahead. Dip.
I saved this dance for you.
Dig.
Diana Ross.
And dabble for yourself.
All day, baby.
Need help with a consumer issue? Contact News 3 Now's Call for Action.
After ending the season on the bench with an injury, Giannis understandably took some flack for playing for Team Greece in the Olympic qualifiers. But the Greek freak was on a mission to get his country to the Olympic Games in basketball for the first time since 2008, and a win over Croatia today would secure that trip to Paris. And there is just no way the freak was not going to get the job done. We jump to the 4th quarter, and if this looks familiar, it should. Giannis enters takeover mode, gets the mid-range jumper to go, and then the next time down the floor, he drops the assist as the shot clock expires, making it a 13-point Greece lead. And then in the game's final minute, Giannis putting the nail in the coffin. Why not off glass? The freak scores 23 points and wears his emotions on his sleeve because he is officially an Olympian, heading to the games for the first time in his career. Today was the Brewers' last road game before the All-Star break, and it's a good thing, too. They're 12-21 in their last 33 games away from AmFam Field and are playing a Dodgers team that they've lost 7 straight games to, dating back to last season. And Christian Yelich is ready to end all of that. Top of the 4th, and he mashes one, his second tater in his last 3 games, and it is his 11th of the season. Milwaukee up 2-0. And then in the 5th, how about Eric Haas lacing one the other way? Another 2-run homer. He doubled the Brewers' lead, and as we speak, the Crew lead it 7-2 in the 9th. The Madison Mallards clearly got some motivation after last night's loss. A big-time win in Kenosha today, beating the Kingfish by a final score of 15-2. Heading south to TPC Deer Ridge for the final round of the John Deere Classic, where Davis Thompson got the job done. He rallied into the lead yesterday and did not let his foot off the gas in the final round. Sinks the putt to secure his first PGA Tour win. Celebrates accordingly. The 25-year-old set a tournament record in the process, shooting 28 under on the weekend. Speaking of the John Deere Classic, let's take a look back at the event that Steve Stricker owned 9 years ago, tied for the lead on 18, needing a birdie to win his 3rd straight John Deere Classic. And I mean, come on, that is a legendary shot. 9 years later, Stricker still doing his thing, but back on that day, hits an insane birdie putt to secure the three-peat, winning 3 times in a row at the event. Stricker was 44 at the time, claiming his 11th PGA Tour win after turning 40. And really, truly incredible for Steve Stricker, but all over the place. Got to look at Giannis. I mean, come on. Head into the Olympics for the first time. Can't beat that.
Absolutely, and especially some of the matchups he faced during the qualifying rounds. I think he's trying to reclaim his title as the best player in the world.
And they'll get Canada in the first round. That'll be a hard matchup for them.
For sure. All right, well, sounds good, Andrew. We'll be back with more after this.
A lot of law firms claim to be experts at handling injury cases that involve large trucks. But handling one trucking case does not make you an expert on the subject. Experience matters in these cases. One local firm has handled 25 trucking cases which resulted in payments over $1 million each, and hundreds of others as well. Because Wisconsinites know who to call when it's a must-win scenario. They call Habish, Habish & Rotier. National reputation, hometown service.
Want to instantly look more attractive and years younger? The solution is whiter teeth. But you love coffee and tea, maybe even wine or smoking, and all of them stain your teeth and make them yellow. It's time you discovered Power Swabs, the fast 5-minute revolutionary treatment.
The first time I tried it, I was so surprised. My husband was so excited that he wanted to run out and get it. He said, "What have you been trying?" I said, "Well, I've tried this product called Power Swab." And he said, "I can't believe how white your teeth are." From that point on, I've been sold.
Power Swabs are guaranteed to whiten your teeth up to 2 shades after the first application. After 5-minute daily treatments for the next week, your teeth will be an average of 6 shades whiter. Power Swabs will whiten natural teeth and remove stains from veneers, bonding, caps, and crowns.
This is a Power Swab smile.
This is a Power Swab smile.
Call, go online, or scan the code on your screen right now to receive 50% off this 4th of July. You'll also receive the Power Swab Stain Out Quick Stick, absolutely free. And in addition, you will get free shipping.
In the courtroom, we see Donald Trump for who he is. He's been convicted of 34 felonies, found liable for sexual assault, and he committed financial fraud. Meanwhile, Joe Biden's been working, lowering health care costs and making big corporations pay their fair share. This election is between a convicted criminal who's only out for himself and a president who's fighting for your family.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Well, that's all we have for right now. We'll see you back here at 10 o'clock.